Hey there, folks. I'm a billionaire and spokesperson for Big Dog Tow Trucking. We specialize in lifting your spirits and your cars. Experiencing car troubles? Or perhaps you've recently decided to let go of certain acquaintances and now you're missing something, like, say, your car? We specialize in relocating vehicles, especially those that might have been, inadvertently left by friends who, how do we put it, made some poor life choices. At Big Dog, we understand. Have you had to part ways with a hand and find steering challenging? Don't worry. We've got you covered. Remember, whether you're looking to make a dramatic exit or need a lift, Big Dog's here for all your special towing needs. Because sometimes life's about moving on, literally. So you have a friend who suddenly can't handle their steering? Or maybe someone's just driven a wedge between you and your car. Big Dog Tow Trucking, lifting more than just vehicles. Call us and let's get moving.
Chapter 9. Friend or Foe. Ashley sat at a restaurant the next day enjoying a leisurely lunch when her phone buzzed with a new message. It was from Jason, adding an unexpected twist to her day. She opened the message. Her curiosity piqued. "Hey, I picked 3 dresses that remind me of your beauty. They'll be delivered to your place tomorrow. Send me your address and please choose the one that best suits you for our special night. I'm looking forward to seeing how stunning you look in your choice. I know whichever you pick will be as beautiful, radiant, and stunning as you are. See you soon." After reading the message aloud, Ashley looked up to see Trey's reaction. "Damn, are you screwing the dude?" he asked, half joking, half serious, an eyebrow raised in amusement. Ashley rolled her eyes, a playful smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. "Nope, haven't touched him," she responded, her tone light yet firm, dismissing the implication with a wave of her hand. Trey laughed out loud, shaking his head. Changing the subject, Trey became more serious. "Since you told me about everything that's happened with the group, I need to reach out to Alex and see what he's been up to. Maybe he will tell me something about the win." Later on, amid a busy day at her beauty bar, Kim's routine was interrupted by an unexpected notification on her phone. A charge from a fancy hotel popped up, stirring a whirlwind of emotions and suspicions within her. Fueled by a need for answers, she hastily left her business in the hands of her trusted staff and made her way to the hotel, her mind racing with possibilities. Upon her arrival, her worst fears seemed to materialize before her eyes. Her husband Emmanuel was in a scene that looked all too intimate from her vantage point. He was with Anika, a friend she trusted, walking her to her car with a familiarity that pierced Kim's heart. Without hesitation, Kim captured this moment with her phone, the photographs as tangible evidence of her swirling suspicions. Watching them from a distance, Kim's stress escalated. The cozy goodbye, the friendly hug, it all seemed too personal, too close. Is Emmanuel cheating on me with Anika? The thought alone sent her into a spiral of doubt and betrayal, hidden yet in plain sight of the painful scene unfolding before her. "I should put this car into drive and run his ass over," she says out loud. "I need to leave before I do something crazy. I can feel my blood pressure rising and I do not want to pass out." Her heart racing with anticipation and dread as she managed to beat Emmanuel home. The house felt unusually tense as he arrived and immediately retreated to the shower, leaving his phone carelessly on the kitchen counter. Typically respecting her husband's privacy, Kim found herself caught in a moment of suspicion when Emmanuel's phone lit up with a new message, its screen unlocked and inviting. Is he setting me up? She wondered, her curiosity overcoming her hesitation. As she picked up the phone, a new message from Anika caught her eye. "Come try this cookie when you can get away from the warden." Are you fucking kidding me? All I have given this man, and he goes and does this. She squeezes her fist so hard that her nails pierce her skin. As Emmanuel finishes his shower and emerges from the bathroom, she quickly captures a screenshot. Securing this evidence to review later, her mind was a whirlwind of emotions, betrayal, confusion, hurt, as she hastily placed the phone back exactly where she found it, just as Emmanuel emerged from the bathroom. She masked her turmoil, pretending to be engrossed in a social media video, her heart pounding against her chest from almost getting caught. The evidence and her fears were mounting, but confronting Emmanuel without a plan felt premature. She needed time, a strategy, and perhaps a conversation with someone who could offer perspective on this bewildering situation. As Kim simmered the dinner on the stove, her thoughts were interrupted by the sight of Emmanuel, wholly immersed in a different reality with his new virtual reality headset and goggles, oblivious to the world around him in their living room. In the heat of the moment, as she watched the water boil, a metaphor for her boiling emotions, a dark thought crept into her mind. Gripping the pot handle with boiling water, she moved stealthily towards where Emmanuel sat, unsuspecting and engrossed in his virtual escapade. But as she neared him, a thought struck her, freezing her in her tracks. The fact that Emmanuel had recently mentioned changing his will. Yet she hadn't laid eyes on the document herself. This recollection acted as a cold splash. With a new mission and a mind fraught with conflict, she turned around, returning the pot to the kitchen. The next day, the sun was high in the sky, casting a golden glow over the city as Anterial, brimming with excitement, stepped into the upscale car dealership. Mario's phone suddenly vibrates with a video from Chris. With a smug grin, Chris stands beside Mario's car in the opening frame. As the video plays, Chris's actions go from petty to malicious. Chris starts narrating his plan with a twisted smile. "Hey Mario, thought you'd appreciate a little update on your precious car," he begins, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Moving slowly, Chris zeroes in on the tracker device attached to the car. "You see this? Your little high-tech guardian?" he mocks, prying it off with ease. "Consider it decommissioned." With a chuckle, he tosses the dismantled pieces aside. "Oh, and don't bother trying to track this phone." The video takes a darker turn as Chris, with a look of disdain, unzips his pants and begins to urinate on the car's seats, a vile grin on his face. "Consider this a personal touch from me to you," he sneers. The sound of his laughter is the last thing the video captures before ending abruptly, leaving a silent message of contempt and challenge. With his hands shaking in anger, Mario struggled to find the words. "That motherfucker pissed all over my car seats. Those were Italian leather." Anterial, taken aback, needed a moment to process his words. "What happened?" she asked, trying to piece together the cause of his sudden rage. Mario's response came through gritted teeth, his anger barely contained. "He pissed on my fucking car seats. Do you know how much those cost me?" His voice sent a clear message of the personal insult he felt. If he wants a war, then I'm going to give him one. A few minutes went by as Mario tried to calm down. Anterial sat down again and began engaging in conversation with the dealership's sales representative again about her dream car, and Mario's phone suddenly buzzed again. He excused himself, stepping aside to take the call, hoping it was Chris so he could curse him out. But it was the hospital calling, saying Mary was specifically calling for Mario. As she was acting very frantic and intense, Mario knew he couldn't waste time. Returning to Anterial, his expression was grave. "We got to go," he said abruptly. "Mary is asking for me." Anterial's excitement turned to confusion, then to annoyance, then nervousness. "Why is she asking for you?" she retorted, her brows knitting together in disbelief and irritation. "I'm discussing my dream car with the top sales rep, and you want me to leave? Can't you just order you a ride and we'll see each other later at home?" Mario was insistent, his tone firm, leaving no room for negotiation. "I need you to come with me for support," he demanded. Anterial, not fazed but embarrassed, excused herself from the conversation with the sales rep, promising to return to finalize her dream car purchase details. "I'll be back to go over everything, thank you," she said, maintaining her composure despite the turmoil. As she made her way out of the dealership, she had one thought. What if Mary remembered her, and what happened that night? "How am I going to get out of this one?" she says in her head. "Let me send a text to the girls to let them know to be ready for anything." The urgency in Mario's voice was unmistakable as he rushed her towards their ride, under her breath, as she quickened her pace to match his. Anterial couldn't help but let out a frustrated mumble. "I see why he pissed in your car. Hell, he should have shitted in it, too. Rushing me and shit." Mario and Anterial arrived at the hospital. As they entered Mary's room, Mario was immediately recognized by her, a recognition that took him by surprise. Anterial, extremely nervous, hung back, lingering in the corner, her anxiety palpable as she waited to see if Mary would remember her and what happened that night. For a few minutes, Mario and Mary engaged in conversation. Mario realized that Mary's memory seemed only to include him and his daughter, leaving out significant portions of their shared past. This partial amnesia provided a slight sense of relief, yet also deepened the mystery of her condition. With some effort, Mary sat up in her hospital bed and, looking directly at Anterial, "Nurse, can you clean my bedpan?" The mistaken and demeaning request struck a nerve with Anterial, her shock quickly turning to anger. Before Anterial could unleash her retort, Mario promptly interjected, "Babe, please, could you go get the nurse?" His plea was calm but firm, an attempt to diffuse the tension without escalating the situation. Anterial, her patience frayed and her anger barely contained, turned to Mario and Mary. "Y'all got me fucked up." Without waiting for a response, she added firmly, "I'm stepping out of the room to get me some air." Her departure a clear statement of her frustration and the need for a moment to collect herself. Finding a quiet corner outside the hospital room, Anterial pulled out her phone, her fingers flying over the screen with relief and suspicion. She quickly composed a message to Tara and Michelle. "Just so you know, Mary didn't recognize me," she typed, her heart still racing from the confrontation. "But I still don't trust her." Hitting send, she leaned against the cool hospital wall, taking a deep breath to quell the storm of emotions swirling within her. As the doctor entered the room after some time, he approached Mario with a sense of urgency. "I'm glad you're here," the doctor began, his tone professional yet empathetic. "Mary is ready to be discharged, but will require 24-hour care. It would be best if she stayed with family for now." Mario's daughter, who had been quietly listening, chimed in with youthful optimism. "I think that's a great idea. Can we all stay together, Dad?" Her eyes were filled with hope. Looking up at Mario for affirmation, Mario was at a crossroads as he processed the doctor's words and his daughter's hopeful inquiry. Mario's gaze shifted from his daughter's eager face to Anterial, who re-entered the room, her expression a mix of exhaustion and readiness to leave. Their eyes met, a silent conversation hanging in the air, filled with questions about what this meant for them. Trey's voice came through the line casually. "What's up, dude? How you been?" Alex, picking up on the familiar tone, replied, "What it do, man? Long time no speak. How's life treating you?" Their conversation flowed naturally, transitioning into a passionate discussion about their shared favorite sports team, reminiscing about past games and speculating about the team's future. Trey, gearing up to spin a tale about a supposedly sick classmate to pry information from Alex, was abruptly cut off by Alex's business phone, giving Trey exactly what he was looking for. "Hello? Thank you for calling Evergreen Mortuary. My name is Alex. Can you hold, please?" Alex said, momentarily distracted. "Hey man, we'll catch up later. I see duty calls," Trey says, as his voice masked the triumph of a chess player, seeing the king unwittingly step into check, his objective subtly achieved without Alex ever realizing the game he was a part of. And now that he had the name of the business Alex ran, he could try to look up information on him and the group. As the date evening arrived, Ashley slipped into one of the exquisite dresses Jason had sent her. Despite her mixed feelings towards him, she couldn't deny the allure of the fabric against her skin and the meticulous attention to detail in his choice. It was a gesture that spoke volumes, setting the tone for what was to be an evening filled with luxury. Her phone buzzed with a notification, a text informing her that her ride was waiting outside. The promise of a night treated like a star was enticing, and as she stepped into the vehicle, Ashley felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. To ensure her safety, she quickly sent a location update to Trey, a precautionary measure in case the evening took an unexpected turn. Upon arriving at the restaurant, the sight that greeted her was Jason, standing tall with a bouquet of roses held by his good hand, his smile wide and welcoming. The grandeur of the setup and the careful planning that went into this moment impressed Ashley more than she cared to admit. Yet, beneath the surface, her mind raced with strategies and plans, wondering how this evening could serve her ultimate goal of reintegrating into the group and uncovering the true extent of their lottery win. Ashley stepped out of the vehicle with a deep breath, her heels clicking on the pavement as she moved towards Jason, ready to embrace the evening's possibilities and the games it might entail. Later that night, as Kim prepared to close up her beauty bar, her mind was a tumultuous sea of emotions. The day's revelations had left her reeling, unsure of how to confront the situation with Emmanuel, her husband, whom she suspected of infidelity. The image of him cozying up to Anika and the cryptic text message she had seen on his phone weighed heavily on her heart. Desperately searching for clarity and peace, she scrolled through her phone for a therapist's contact. Just as she was about to make the call, a sudden buzz at the door startled her. Hesitantly, she approached, peering through the glass to see who could be visiting at such a late hour. To her utter disbelief, it was her, Anika. Well, what an explosive chapter that was. You've just listened to another twist in the dark tale of WEHIT. If your heart's racing and you're craving more, you know what to do. Smash that like button and hit subscribe. Things are about to get even bloodier, more deceitful, and thrilling. So stay with us and brace yourselves for the next chapter.
Wow.